You know, I think I finally figured out just what made me hate Season 2 of Helluva Boss so much. I mean, the main reason, of course. Other than its creator is a goober, the script is made of Turkish rolls or something, or even that the soul of the show has been ripped out for corporate advertising and or merchandising. Don't get me wrong, those things are awful, and the creator should probably never have done them. Plus, they are definitely much more obvious than what I'm talking about today. But I think the reason that I've realized is a lot more of a shame from a simple viewing standpoint. You see, Season 2 of Helluva Boss simply isn't funny, which is a major concern considering I'm pretty sure this was a comedy show at some point. Yes, I know it's a romance drama now, but I swear it wasn't always that way. It used to be good, unless I'm remembering it wrong. Now, I consider myself a relatively epic gamer when it comes to knowing things about this show. I've been talking about it for over a year after all. But upon being told by heckling commenters who have 5.5 videos and they're all on that one gacha website that makes me just want to shoot myself, after being told by these particular esteemed individuals over 5,000 times that I actually have no idea what I'm talking about and should in fact simply die, I did some reflecting and realized that they might be slightly right. About the first part, not the die part, shut up. It's all well and good to hate Stolitz. In fact, I encourage it because holy shit. It's also good to rag on the show for being the most rubbish thing to ever exist because someone has to, but it's like people say, I clearly have no evidence that the show is garbage. As long as we ignore the 5.5 dumpsters I have in my back garden full of all the evidence that I have, such as how the Season 2 jokes rely entirely on shock value and have no actual substance in them, which granted is just how the show works now, I guess. And we'll also be conveniently ignoring how the entire plot is now a bird and a not bird committing level 12 bondage on one another and nothing else. Because why would we want to watch a show about hell when we can watch a show about, oh look, another owl? You know, David Attenborough's right there, you can watch real owl documentaries, you don't need this. Oh, and we're also going to ignore how all the decent side characters that you spent an entire season making haven't been seen in over 700 years. Because nobody liked those guys. Look at Stolitz, it's right there, it's shiny. I'm sure the merchandising's going to work great for these guys. Oh look, it didn't, that's weird. I wonder which crab predicted that 5 months ago. Maybe somebody should be listening to him. Now, I'm not sure if it has to do with Brandon removing himself from all of the writing roles, except yes, I absolutely am positive that is why. But recently the jokes seem to have taken a severe downward turn during the course of Season 2, like genuinely. And the interesting thing about this trend is just how many reasons that the newer jokes seem to fall flat. You see, it's not often the same reason. The jokes aren't overly repeated, for example, unless you count the whole stole it joke, am I right, lads? I can't believe that is the only plotline you have now. Have you not watched your own show? You had tons of things you could have used. You don't need this. Some of the jokes do kind of land, but they always end up slightly missing their mark in such interesting ways. Such as the joke song that Fizz sings in the warehouse, other than being god-awful and genuinely a waste of everyone's time while Blitz just fucks around in the rafters for some reason. It drags on for so long. Like, even the 3 people in the audience out of the millions of viewers who laughed at it for the first 5 seconds have already fallen asleep now. And they had to give Stryker a full in-house lobotomy just to make it work. All the jokes in Season 1 never boned over their characters in order for them to exist. That seems to be a major turnaround with Season 2. For example, there weren't really any jokes about Stryker in his first appearance that didn't make total sense. The ones he made earlier in the episode before he was revealed as evil were all directed towards Moxie in a hostile way, which totally fit his character both in the moment and also after the fact once you realized he was in fact an absolute asshole. Or at least he used to be before he became a goober. This lack of goobishness in his first appearance made him incredibly intimidating, except then he became a total moron, made a penis statue, and then fucking died. It doesn't make any goddamn sense now, does it? Did he hit his head really hard on the mountain? Is that why his voice changed? Another example is having Stolas' entire speech that he gives to Blitz at the party somehow juggles super sad and meaningful with Lamau guys, look at this idiot bird over here. It doesn't balance tone, it gives the audience fucking whiplash. This shows in Vivzi's other works too, turning Charlie's dad from an abandonment story to an absolute joke about how he was somehow vying for Charlie's affection the whole time, to the point where he'll fight Alistair for it, who apparently is also after it, I guess, even though that was never something he was after at the start. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense, and you did it for the cheapest joke in the history of the universe. I would know, I frequently make those. It's just such a waste of development that you could have spent half the season having. But no, we've got to make Husker like the spy spider dude, and we've also got to take the snake and throw him into orbit. That's important, remember to do that. Also, Vaggy's an angel, who cares? What's the difference? There is none, fuck off. Back to Helluva Bacon. I think the great failing of Season 2's jokes come from the same thing that ruined the script and pretty much all of Vivzi's recent work. A severe and crippling lack of charm. There is nothing charming about a huge studio making steam-compressed cartoons with no soul purely just to make money. There is an incredible amount of charm to silly little jokes and the staff genuinely loving their work within a small indie development team, which in case you've forgotten is exactly what we once had in abundance. The jokes were so stupid, that was the entire point. I will take 1,000,000 I'll call HRs and shut up their furries over a single one of your Mr. Rages or your Stolus has another weird fetish jokes for the billionth time. I guess I was wrong about that recycling thing at the start of the script. Oop. There is an incredible amount of tact in presenting jokes like this, tact you apparently don't have because your script writer, who you forgot to credit all the time, ran off, probably because he got bored. And these amazing jokes are what set Helluva Boss apart from other animated shows in the first place, and it's a huge reason that your studio got off the fucking ground. I can't tell what would be worse at this point. Either Vivzi has lost all creative spark, assuming she had any she didn't accidentally borrow from somebody else, or she's thrown all of her spark in the bin because their benefactors told her to. There's a good chance it's both, actually. When I first discovered Helluva Boss back in ye old years of 2022, I literally quoted half of the jokes daily. Hell, I laughed so hard at the piano moving to hit Lyle Lipton the first time that I spit water all over my laptop and then shat myself, assuming it would die of water poisoning. I urge you, dear human, to revisit Season 1 of Helluva Boss and compare it directly to Season 2, and I would be very surprised if you don't see the stark difference in between the levels of humor, something that used to be integral to the core of this show before that core was replaced with actual merchandising. Granted, I do love stupid humor, hence the piano thing, so maybe I feel the shift in tone more than the average sponge will. I can only assume that the general tone shift is responsible for this in some way too. Vivzi went for a more somber, serious story in Season 2, I think, probably because it's the only one she can do because it's the easiest one to accomplish. Although she did try some jokes, they were just shite. Was Brandon the only person who could execute these jokes properly? Possibly. So yeah, chuck a comment down below with your thoughts. It will be very interesting to see what others think about this particular topic, especially since my memory is probably a little bit clouded with how much I hate all of Spindly Horse's recent developments. I might start going into some particular episodes themselves over the next few videos. There's been quite a couple that I've wanted to touch on for being either not that shite or holy fresh Jesus set it on fucking fire. So if you have any you'd like to see me cover in particular, let me know. But for now, I really do appreciate you watching, dear human, and I do hope you enjoyed me reeing about essentially nonsense for like, I don't know, 8 minutes. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks-ish, reviewing some episode or another.